Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hope everyone is well. We are about 3 minutes away from the market open. We've had CPI news this morning, which caused a big spike, and it usually does, to be fair. So if anybody did trade the news there, I'm guessing it worked. If you'd have traded the news, you'd have probably put an order above there and maybe one down here somewhere. So if it triggered you long, let me think. Rhythmic is working. It certainly is working. Did you trade the news, Karina? Did you? Because look at that big bar there. Let me think. If you traded 27 contracts, what do you need point wise? It's 12 points, isn't it? So around about there. So if you'd have traded the 250k account there, you went long. You'd have smashed that one. You did it on the sim and it worked. Good on you. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough to pass anything, really, whatever you'd have taken there. I just hope that didn't spike down first before it pushed up. I'm guessing it was down and then we moved up and then it shot. So, yeah, big strong move there. So if you did take anything there, I'm guessing you'd have passed that. So we have got some FOMC news later, but I'll be well and done. I may finish early today. I've got a couple of mates out for a beer today. I've taken a week off, so they're going to be in a pub sitting in the sun, so I'm going to join up with them in maybe a couple of hours. So we'll finish a bit early today. So, Karina, how you doing? Speedy, how you doing, pal? K3, what's up? How you doing? Okay, so I'm looking at this as a possible bounce here. A possible second entry long. It's just a bit hard, isn't it? So what I will say is sometimes when we get that, we recover it quickly, but we haven't there. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We've made kind of a couple of legs back and we're pushing up again, and that's often how it happens. So usually when something like that happens, if we don't recover it quickly, we'll end up doing something along the lines of that. So I think it's quite feasible we get a push up today. So let's just have a quick browse on the daily. Where could we go here? Yeah, definitely. We could certainly push up, couldn't we? I mean, we've had that first leg up, 2 legs back, nice big bullish bar. We could certainly push right up here. There's no issues there. We've made that high, but I like to have 2 pushes. We've had 1 push up to the high, 2 legs back, and I'd like to see a measured leg, so we could get a really strong move today. Obviously, the news is positive, so that's a good sign. The market is due open in around about 30 seconds. So let's just get this back where it is. Kanan, how you doing, mate? Sean, how are you? I tried the OCO order today, but it does not work. Maybe it's been blocked. Quick question, Sean. Did you use the buy market order? It's got to be the buy stop market order. Don't use a limit on it. Don't use a buy stop limit because it can push straight through it. So I don't know. I'm not sure what you did. Let me have a look. You did it on a sim. It worked. So Karina did it. So just make sure it is a buy stop market order. Okay, market is open. Let me just have a little. What's changed here? Where's my all-time highs? Okay. What's that now? What's missing? Something's missing here. That's missing. Oh, sorry. I took the thing off it. Ah, there we go. There we go. You took a short up there, did you? Philip, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Apex say we trade the news and fails. They won't reset with issues. I refer. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Perhaps that's the problem. But the thing is, they haven't got anything in the rules that says you can't trade the news, so they can't just all of a sudden change things there and then. But perhaps it's the news that's doing it. But no, I don't know. Perhaps that's what's causing the problem then. But it's not in the rules. They haven't got any rules, so I don't know how they can say they won't reset it. So anyway. Perfect second entry long trap. Not trading the news. Okay. Let's have a look. That one there. Yeah. Second entry long. Trouble is, once you've been up here and made a new high, what do? It may go higher, but only can place the order, not both sides, using OCO. Not both sides. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on there. See, if I select OCO, oh no, I better not do it because this is my what's it account, isn't it? I'll tell you what, let's just go on to Sim quickly. And if I select OCO and click buy stock market, there's my one order. Sell stock market, there's be two orders. So if it triggers the one, it cancels the other and vice versa. So it's worked there. If you'd have dragged that in one below there, but maybe it is. Maybe that's what's causing. Where's the other one gone? I've cancelled them both. Maybe that's what's causing the problem. So let's go back onto, where am I? Yes, 69. Maybe that's what's causing the problem. 69, isn't it? Okay, let me just check this is back working now.
Order submitted.
They're all working. 2 contracts.
Order cancelled.
And same with my CL.
Order submitted.
They're all working.
Order cancelled.
I'm not sure. You must select the ATM again. Okay. You see, I'm on a strat. Perhaps you have to have something there. You have to have an order. But the thing is, if you trade in the news, what you want to do, you want to select custom and then set everything to pass it in one go. So that might be why. But they've said if it goes wrong that they won't reset it. Perhaps that's the problem. Perhaps there's so many people. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's risky anyway. So if it's only $16 and it passes it, happy days. If it doesn't pass or something goes wrong, they won't reset it, which is not the end of the world. We all know it's risky anyway. But if you'd have done that there for the 250k account, you'd have passed straight away. So, you know, is the $16 worth the gamble? It's a gamble anyway. But the theory is it's only $16 and it could give you $15,000 worth of profit and put you straight onto a PA, a 250k PA. So it's one of those things, isn't it? It's sort of swings and roundabouts. Sell order commits. Yeah, what you've got to do, you've got to make sure. But if you're going to do it, you obviously want to go into custom and set 20. If you're doing the 250k, you want to set 27 contracts, and then however much profit you need to pass it, and just make sure you stop slightly more. But I mean, if it hits your stop anyway, you're out, and that's it really. OCO, buy stock market, sell stock market, and then drag them into place. So let's make sure that's fine. Yeah, okay. So market is open, and what are we doing? Are we moving down in a trend there? Leg and a leg. So, does anyone know if you can do more than 20 PAs? I know you cannot trade more than 20, but can you bank like a few extra? Not that I'm aware of, mate. I think they limit you. But you can have, you can have multiple companies. You can trade multiple companies on Quantower, but you can have multiple companies. So, you can flick from here onto TopStep and trade a couple there. So, you have got the options to trade other prop firms as well. It's just, I believe Apex are the only one that you can trade 20 on. I don't know why. I know TopStep have been around for longer than Apex, but let's have a look. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here at the moment. It's a little bit too early in the day, but I've got to say price is slow. Asking is because I already have 19 PAs and 5 more. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. Trouble is, if you pass them, you're going to go on to 20. Now, you can have as many evaluations, but the trouble is if you pass one, you won't get an email to turn it into a PA. And if you have them for longer than a month, you're going to get recharged, you know what I mean, at 80%. In fact, has anybody noticed the price has gone up to 71%? I'm surprised they've done that. If I look on the Apex main website, the price has gone back to 71%. I knew it was kind of finishing yesterday, but I'd heard lots of rumours they were going to continue it. So I'm surprised with the amount of problems we've had that they've gone back to the 71%. I'm not sure whether you can do the... well, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? I'm not sure whether you can do... Oh, there's a lower high there. No, I'm not sure. Let me have a look. If I just log in, let me see if I can sign up to the 250k and see how much it cost me. That's strange. So no, there's 71% off the 250. The 250Ks are $48. So no, they have got rid of the 90% off. So it's down to 70%. I'm really surprised. That's strange. I thought with all the problems they would continue it because people haven't been able to trade the account. So it's kind of a little bit unfair. I'm really surprised. I looked earlier just to see whether they kept it at the 90 and they haven't, so it's just strange. Strange. I better change my better change that, no. Excuse me just a sec, I'm just going to change this so it's 71% off. I am surprised. 71% off. How long does it last for? Excuse me just 1 second. 7 days. Which is the 19th then. Finishes the 19th. Which is my birthday, funnily enough. 19th of June, okay. 71%. I'm really surprised they've only done that. The amount of times, the amount of people that have been messed around, they haven't been able to trade. Eval is still, well, let's have a look. Let me have another look because I just looked and it wasn't. Let me just have a look. I'll show you. So if I go on to Apex and I log in and I go on to Rhythmic and hit the 250 account, I think you can trade it up until the 15th, but I don't think you can buy a new one. So let me just have a look. Yeah, I don't think you can buy a new one. No, see, look, there we go. 250k one, 250, 27 contracts, $48. So it's not anymore. So they've got rid of it, unfortunately. which is very strange. So if you've already got the 250 account, you can trade it and have the smaller lifetime fee up until the 15th, I believe. But they've got rid of all. It's got promotions tab. I don't know. Well, I've just gone into it. Let me have a look. Promotions. Yes, if I drag this in now, this is the Apex one. The 250 is special. It's still priced at the same. Yeah. Yes, it's priced at the same as the 50k one, which now is $48. So the 50k one is 71% off, which is $48. So they've priced it at the same. So it's not $16. You see what I mean? So, which I think is a bit unfair because of the amount of problems and people haven't been able to trade. Yeah, so they have kept it at the same price, but it's the 71% off, which is $48. Have you heard about Fast Track trading prop firms? They give direct pay account. No, I have heard of some companies that do a direct payout, but I'm not really aware of them as such. I'll have to look into them. In fact, let me take a photo. The trouble is I've got 20 accounts now, so I'm kind of sort of tied with Apex. But let me have a look. They're called about Fast Track. So let me take a photo of that and I'll have a look into it. Sean, what is your ATM strategy? Selection mode, right click mouse, properties. Where do you choose your ATM? So you're about this here. So this is mine here. Is that what you mean, Bud? Is it? That's what I sort of set mine on. So I set mine to contract. I set it at 12. 12 ticks my stop, and obviously I adjust it accordingly. And I like to go for 10 ticks, but I will adjust that to 8 or 6 depending on where, what the current price is looking like. Not that. Okay, what are you on about then? I'm going to read about that. Right click on your mouse and choose properties in the right panel. You on about that, yeah? I'll move that over there for you to have a look at. Need to see the properties. This is it, I think, Bud, isn't it? Yeah. Properties, right click. Is that what you need? Not that. Okay, so you want me to right click where? Right click your mouse and choose properties in the right panel where you choose. So here, yeah? So if I right click here and click properties. That's what I've done. Right click on the right panel and choose properties. Just do it again. So I'm right clicking here, correct? If I right click there and click properties, that's it. That's what it brings up. Is that what you mean? I don't know if I can right click anywhere else, can I? No, it does the same thing if I right click in there now. That's it. Okay. Do you need it again, mate, or you're okay? Do you want me to open it again or you're okay? Right. Excuse me. Let's have a look. We got some sort of channel going up here. I had a feeling it was going to push up. Because you're okay. Good on you, mate. Let's please check my message above. Thank you. Let's have a look. Straight lines. I wonder there's something I need to do apart from just trading and paying monthly subscription. There's something I need to be doing apart from. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Is there something I should be doing? I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You know, if you're if you take an evaluation, you just trade it up until you hit the target, and then you move to PA. Are you quite new to trading, are you, bud? If you are, I really wouldn't think about going for evaluations just yet. Try and clarify that a bit more. Also, let me know how much you've been trading, how long you've been trading, because I know it seems kind of attractive to do it, and you know it's up to you, of course. But you know you are going to blow a few. 35. Yeah, there is a $35 reset if you want to reset the account, which is cheaper. How you doing, Michael? So that's an option if you don't want to pay the full $40 odd. I'm surprised they haven't kept the offer. I really am, because obviously all the problems we've been having, and it's okay having an offer, but if they're telling you every other day not to trade, you know, what are you supposed to do? It's kind of saying here's the offer, but you can't do nothing with it. So it's a bit strange. So I am wondering whether they'll, you know, give us something back. I don't know. I'll have to say. Yeah, it's a bit strange, isn't it? Usually, there is another message above. Not that one. Have I read the wrong one? Let's have a look. This one here. Hey everyone, I have been using Apex for 2 weeks now. All linked up to NinjaTrader 50k account. I am close to the 3k profit, but when log into the website, I don't have account summary. See, importantly, what you want to look at is in Rhythmic. What does it say in Rhythmic? And also, if you go into the evaluations, on your dashboard, on the left side of your dashboard, click evaluations, it'll show you where you are. But ultimately, what you need to do is look into Rhythmic, go into Rhythmic and click on your accounts there, and it'll tell you the balance of your accounts. In all fairness, you should really have Rhythmic up, which will show you your balance. Will show you balances on your accounts. I think they've removed the offer because all the recent issues, too many people. Well, what they should have done really is just got rid of the 250k one. I think it's the 250k that's attracting people to trade the news. Yeah. Well, we've not had this problem before when we've had the 90% off. Well, you think if that's the problem, at least go down to 80%, but not 71. I don't know. I'm sure we'll see something in due course, but it's almost like sort of we're getting punished for the offer, you know? I don't know. So maybe we have a spike and a channel there. That kind of looks all right, doesn't it? They need to fix it before still. Yeah. Trouble is, it's forcing people to pay more money, really, isn't it? You think they do the 80% off, but I don't know. I don't know where they are. In all fairness, you can tend to hear different stories. 1 minute it seems to be sorted out. So this is where I've got. This is the update I've got so far. So June the 12th. So this is just after the market opens. It's been a crazy few weeks, but I guess that's what comes in promotional updates. I thought many of you stuck up on revals for the madness. So like 71%, 250 is still the same price. So it's $48. One-time fee for that. Okay, so that's been extended. So if you want a 250 account, you can do it by paying $48. And you can trade it in 1 day and have that lifetime fee. So that's the attractive thing, really, the lifetime fee. Let me just move this out of the way. The lifetime fee, because obviously, you know, $85, even the 50k is normally that. So they've still got the 1 day to pass. The promotions run until the 18th of June. Well, 250. Okay, that's strange. This promotion runs till the 18th of June. Right, okay. So hopefully at the 18th of June, that will give them time to sort out these Rhythmic issues, and we may get a decent thing back. It's not an Apex problem, it's a Rhythmic problem, and it's affecting all prop firms, other platforms. Yeah, we kind of know that it's affecting everybody. But I suppose it's frustrating when you offer the discounts, but no one can use the damn thing really. But so hopefully, between now and then, this will probably calm down the amount of people taking evaluations and probably give it time to breathe. So hopefully, maybe if they can sort it out, they might bring another offer in. Yeah, we know it's never really Apex's problem. The thing is that the way I see that, and I've said it before, if I sold washing machines, Zanussi washing machines. Now, we know what it's like. These companies use different pieces of software and different parts from different companies when they put it in their package. But when they sell that package, they're responsible for it, regardless of where they get the. And that's the thing is with Apex, when they sell you a package, part of using that package, they specify you have to use an X piece of software. And that piece of software, as we know at the moment, is prone to problems. So, so for Apex to say, it's not ours, we don't take responsibility, which they don't, they sort it out. But I know it's frustrating for everything. It's obviously frustrating for Apex because obviously they've got to pay staff or extra staff to sort the problems out because when they have problems, they get 1,000,001 emails and they've all got to be answered. So I know it's just kind of a ball ache for everybody really at the moment. I don't know what the answer is. The fact that it's happening to a lot of people, I think, is a good thing because it's more likely that they're going to get it sorted out because, you want to keep customers. And if your customers are holding back on buying evaluations because they're concerned, that they can't trade, it's obviously costing Apex money as well. So there you go. Let's have a look. Laughter Apex flowing with peeps' monies. Don't blame, we blame them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I know it's not Apex's fault, but, I think they have to stand up and do something about it and reset accounts. Because, they say as part of their package, you have to use it. It's, we're not using it out of choice. It's specified by Apex that if you sign up to our package, that this is what you must use. And if you say to somebody, you have to use this as part of as our package, obviously they need to make sure it works. So hopefully, with a few less evaluations going through, they may have time to sort it out, and it may have a little bit time to breathe and hopefully make life a bit better. So this seems, I like that. I like what that's doing. It's almost like a bull flag, so we got a leg in this. So I think there's a good chance we're going to get up there and hit these highs. And we're into new territory now. We're constantly moving up into... We've never been up here before. This was the last high, then here, and this thing is just sort of ongoing, the higher we get. Every time we're hitting new all-time highs. So yeah, hopefully if I can get a trade earlier, I'm going to finish a bit early today. I've got a couple of friends that have taken a few days off and given me a call, said they're going out today for a few beers. I haven't been out for a long time. We're talking a long time. 6 months and the rest, I think. All my time has been dedicated to trading and family and trading and family, so... My birthday in the middle of next week, so I'm just using that as an excuse to go out on a bender and have a few beers. Weather's quite nice today, nice and warm, so. I don't know what other options there are apart from Rhythmic. I know there's Rhythmic and there's Trade of 8, isn't it? Coke Bender sounds nice. Too old for that sort of stuff, mate. I tend to like this time of year. Obviously, I like the whiskey, as you guys know, but I like cider. Cider's nice this time of year, but Guinness as well. I don't know if do you guys in the US know what Guinness is? You probably do nowadays, don't you? It's a big old world, isn't it? It's traditionally from Ireland. Well, I think it is from Ireland. It's just like a really dark pint of ale with a really thick, creamy head. It's quite healthy, actually. It's full of iron and stuff, but that's nice. Oh, yeah. Guinness is nice. It's a nice drink, Guinness. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. I used to hate it when I remember when I was when I was in my 18s, I used to work in a nightclub. I used to do a lot of discos back at the day. And they had a promotion in the nightclub, and they were giving away like 3 pints, free tickets, and I had a load of them. And I remember, because it was free, really forcing it down because I didn't want to have to buy it. And it was free, but I never liked it back then. But now it's lovely, it's cold, it's rich, and it's thick. It's beautiful. So I like that. It can be quite heavy. Once you make maybe 5 or 6 pints of it, it can be a bit heavy on your stomach. But especially from a pint, yeah, it is nice. It is nice. 90% off pints. That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be good. We got Witherspoons where I live in Shrewsbury, and it's pretty cheap in Witherspoons. I think it's about £2.75 for a pint of lager, which in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty reasonable. They tend to do things pretty cheap. I don't know why. But cider as well. I kind of like some of the flavoured ciders, like the blackcurrant cider and that. Yeah, £2.75. That's what, $3.50? $3.75, something like that. It's pretty reasonable. It's Whiskers is expensive. Sometimes if I have a nice, like a nice peated Lafroig, I was down in Winchester a few months back, visiting my sister, and I was paying £15 for a double, which is like $20. And that is pricey, but I've got a little hip flask, a little silver hip flask, and I usually top that up, and I usually buy the first one and then just top my own up. Here in London, you can't have it below. Yeah, London prices are ridiculous. They are, yeah. Yeah, it's cheap Witherspoons. They do a nice breakfast in there, which is cheap, and the beer's cheap. They do meals like, I don't know, £6 or £7 for a nice meal, like a lasagna or a curry or something with a beer. So I'm going to go out and have a few this afternoon. I don't often go out much, to be honest with you. A lot of my time is focused with trading and then family and that, but burger with a beer, yeah, burger and a beer. I might have one of those, actually. No, I had a mate phone me up today. He was we got a river runs through Shrewsbury. It's actually I think it's the biggest river in the UK, the River Severn. And he was taking his canoe down there for a bit and asked me if I wanted to join him. And then he was going out for a beer. He's took a week off work. And there's some beautiful pubs where I live. The old black and white Tudor buildings, hundreds of years old. There's some stunning pubs, all oak beams. I mean, we're talking hundreds of years old, 400, 500, 600 years old, some of these buildings, and they're stunning. If you like history, I used to hate history. I remember my mum and dad used to drag me around old castles and that, and it used to bore the shit out of me. But when you get a bit older, you start to appreciate history, don't you? But, if you're in a really old historic building, you have a few beers, you sort of, you kind of sort of think back, don't you, when you've had a few, and yeah, it's quite nice. What are we doing here? Market's gone slow, isn't it? I just hope it's not going to go slow all day. I know we've got the FOMC news coming out later. Sometimes FOMC day, it can be slow, can't it? I kind of hoped after that big push, and we do this. Usually, well, I say usually, that's probably not the right way to say it, but a lot of the times when we do push, we recover. But sometimes when you ever get a bit of a strong push, we often do this. We kind of see we have 2 legs back, and I don't think something around there is a bad trade, actually. A couple of legs back and then continue up, but I wouldn't be shocked if we end up here quite soon. Trump or Biden? I know we got elections over here as well. Ours are 3 weeks, about 3 weeks, I think. I didn't think Trump. See, he's been convicted, isn't he, of these charges? So I didn't think he would be allowed to run because he could end up in prison. Technically, couldn't I? I don't think he will, but I didn't think he was allowed to run for president if he's just been prosecuted for if he's got a criminal conviction. But I don't know how things work in the US. Does it not? I'm surprised, actually. So technically you could have someone running the prison from H Block, technically. Mind you, he's definitely a bit weird, Trump, isn't he? But a lot of people said he was good for the country, did some good things. But, I don't follow politics massively, but obviously US politics is not normally our sort of day-to-day. But, love him or hate him, a lot of people said he did good for the country. He's not your typical run-of-the-mill president, is he really? He doesn't come over as sort of presidential as such. He's certainly a colourful character, but a lot of people say he did good for the country, so I don't know, really. Prison doesn't prevent you from running. It's different in the US, isn't it? I'm pretty sure over here you can't, or can't you? Maybe you can. I don't know. What is this CL chart doing? Let me have a look. Bulgarian myself, and I do support Trump as well. Yeah, a lot of people say he's done a lot for the country. But obviously, being from the UK, you sort of don't generally follow it as closely as you US guys. So you're Bulgarian, are you, Speedy? Bulgaria. Have I been to Bulgaria? I think I went to Bulgaria once when I was very young skiing. Is it big for skiing? Is it big for skiing, Bulgaria? I'm pretty sure I went to Bulgaria. Skiing with school donkeys years ago. Been living here for the past years. Yeah, I can't say that. That's like 7 years. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went with the school. I was about maybe 14. So it was a few years ago. Yeah, I do like skiing. I don't do much. I actually worked in a couple of ski resorts years ago. I worked in a place called Kitzbühel. If there's any skiers out there, you guys are probably not Kitzbühel. I worked in a place called Meyerhofen for a while, and a place in Austria, and a place called Val d'Isère. And you skiers, you'll know these places. Val d'Isère in France. And I worked there for 2 or 3 months during the ski season. Yeah, I don't follow politics that much. I kind of like all the hustle and bustle of it, but the trouble is, I mean, you've got half the experts saying we should do this, another half the experts saying we should do that, and Joe Public, us, who don't really know anywhere near as much as the experts do. If the experts can't make up their mind, what the hell the chance have we got? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, politicians are, I don't know, well, they're all the same, aren't they? They always tend to avoid the questions, don't they? It's not under the two-party system now. You need a little bit more, don't you? It's mainly the two-party system in the US, isn't it? What is it? Democrats and Republicans. Let's see, that's in 2 months' time. With my 20 PAs, I'm going to make it. Become a profitable trader. We'll invite you over to Bulgaria once. Absolutely, mate. I want to start traveling a bit more. I mean, the last sort of 3 or 4 years, I haven't really travelled. I've dedicated all my time and money to trading, but I've always had this. I've always been the type of person, if I want something bad enough, I'll pretty much get it, as long as it's within reason. You know, expecting £10 million in a few years is probably a little bit beyond me, but I've always had that attitude that if I want something, I'll pretty much fight tooth and nail to get it. So I do believe I'll become a profitable trader. I believe I'm on the road now, in a better position. But obviously, it takes time. as much as we hear these stories, it's not a quick money-making scheme. It does take time. But I've got my accounts now, and I am treating these with kid gloves. I really am. I'm super protective. You know, I don't take stupid risks anymore. Never. There's no way after the trade I would just jump on one of my PAs and take a stupid risk. I used to do it all the time. There's no way on God's earth I do that now. I'm massively I mean, they're like my kids. You know what I mean? I'm super protective. Actually, I'm living in a town close to the border with Greece. We're going to Greece in a few months. It's like 10 miles away from, way out. I'll tell you, I've changed a lot. But yeah, and I've said this before, if you want to lose some weight or you want to put a little bit of muscle on and you're going to the gym, you can slowly see the transformation. But in your brain, what's going on in there, you can't really see it. You can sort of tell things, I am aware things have changed because I could not stop gambling at one point. If I'd have had these accounts, as soon as I stopped streaming, I'd have picked one of the accounts and took a silly gamble to try and get lucky. And I did that so many times. You guys never knew because I did it after the stream. The only thing you guys knew is when I came back the following day and I'd lost accounts. I could not help do that. Trust me now, there is no way I would take a stupid risk like that. It is amazing how you can be completely transformed to feeling like you're an uncontrolled gambler to being absolutely super strict and extra cautious with your accounts. I did wonder whether it would. Absolutely, it is surprising. It really is. You don't have no control. It's almost like you take over. You take risk after risk after risk. And I think a lot of it is because you don't think you've got enough skills to be able to get there without a little bit of a lucky boost. And I think when you realise that, that's when you start to be able to build an account. But the accounts do build slow. They're building slower than I thought they would. But I think that's why you hear the story that it's not a quick money-making scheme. It does take time. Now, obviously, you need skill, but you obviously need money to make money. So you could have the best skills in the world. If you had no financial package to be able to trade, you can't make a penny. But it does take time. But I know I've changed, but it's been hard to see that transformation for me. It may be easy for you guys to sort of watch me and see the difference. But if I think back how I used to act, it's a world away from where I am now. Baby squid. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You learn through the stress of mistakes. Yeah, you do. You do. I mean, we know if you walked out your house tomorrow morning in bare feet for the next week, by the end of the day, your feet would be cut to shreds, wouldn't they? You do that for 3 months, you're going to have thick pads on your feet, aren't you? It's the body as well as the mind has got a way of adapting, and the only way really to adapt it is to keep applying that pressure and keep putting it under stress. And trading, especially for a new person or newish, relatively inexperienced person, having some skin in the game, it's scary. It's stressful. And it can be a horrible thing. I mean, that feeling I used to have when I was an uncontrollable, just going for 10 contracts, trying to scrappily get 2 or 3 ticks to make back my money. That feeling I used to feel in my stomach. I've almost felt like an addict out of control. I've never been addicted to anything in my life, but, I felt like I was a real addict that had no control. And that feeling is horrendous. And I'm so glad it's slowly gone. But it's, as I've said before, it is exposure to it again and again and again. And sooner or later, it slowly starts to subside, and that's what's happened with me. But you can't see it the same way as it is something. It's not really visual. You can't see the change in your brain, whereas as you can with your body. But I did question myself whether I was not the type of personality to be able to do it, because I did feel like I was. I remember there was a guy who used to comment here. What was his name? Nice triple test on the NQ. Yeah, I haven't got that at the moment. What's that guy's name? I used to call him Money Max. That guy that used to insult a lot of people. He came on the stream once, or came in the comments and went, Lance is a gambler, blah, 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 blah. And in all fairness, at the time, I think he was probably right. And I think what frustrated me about that comment is, you know, they say the truth hurts. I think he was right. And it's not nice to have people giving you, you know, really negative, horrible comments, but I think he was right at the time. I really was. I had no control over it. I was just really gambling, I think. Not so much out of addiction, but more out of pure frustration, because you can't do what you want to do. You know, you can't work out what the market's going on. You can't seem to take consistent trades. So I don't think it was, you know, maybe that kind of addictive type feeling, more out of just frustration that you start throwing money at the market. You know, at the times I had to lie to my wife. Well, not lie to her, I just didn't tell her the truth. You know, she'd say, how'd you get on today? And there was a time where I started telling her, but I saw she got a bit frustrated as well, so I started just not telling her the truth. Never told her how much money I put into it. She knows now because we've sat and worked it all out, but she's always supported me. You know, I've always been a bit of a, I try this and I try that, and I do a lot of things. But she supported me all the way through it, actually. Well, I'm surprised. When I told her how much I'd spend, I was expecting a look of shock in her face, but she didn't, actually. So she has supported me, but, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you guys out there that spend more money than you sort of make out you do. You might not tell your partners, you know, your husbands or your wives or your girlfriends. But did you steal money from... No, I never stole. I never stole any money from... No. But I stuck a lot of money on credit cards. I put money on credit cards, and when I get a bit of money at the end of the month for either a payment or a bit in affiliate, I chip away at the credit card. But you know, you do. It's a horrible way of doing it, and you do feel like you're a fake and you're a failure and you're a fraud. That's how I used to feel. You know, I'm not telling people the truth. I'm not telling my wife the truth. I'm a fraud. I'm a failure. You have all sorts of stuff go through your head. You really do, and it can get to you at times. It can make you miserable. I used to get miserable and stressed. Sometimes I used to sit in my bedroom by myself and just feel down. Why can I not do this? Why am I feeling like this? But the good thing is, it's part of it's part of the reason I like talking to you guys about it, because it helps me get it off my chest, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that are going through the same thing. When you hear someone else talk about it and go through it, it kind of helps you. So, I think it's good to talk to other people when you're learning to do this and you're having tough times. It is good to talk, because it's surprising that when you start to realise nearly everyone goes through the same thing. Got to get eval fixed. It all starts with weekends. This is your online therapy. Yeah, it kind of is. It is good to talk. We know it's good to talk about problems, but I remember I was on Nutty's channel having a chat with Nutty a few weeks ago, and I mentioned I'd gone over 500 evaluations, and I thought I was going to get a lot of shocked faces, but I was probably one of the lower ones. There was Nutty had taken more than me, and there was one guy who'd had over 1,200. There was loads around 8. So when you start talking to other people, you realise it's not just you. You know, we all go through that same slow transformation of acting like an uncontrolled, frustrated gambler to hopefully, if you stick at it, to hopefully a lot more consistent. Just looking at this now, I don't know what you guys think about that. Is that an overshoot? I certainly wouldn't want to go short here anyway at the moment, not with this because, there's always a possibility we could start like this and we could end up doing, I don't know, something like this. Having a leg and a leg. You just never know, do you? And there are lots of times where I'm not sure what's going on, but one thing I've realised over the few years is you don't always have to know what's going on. But what you have to do is, if you don't know what's going on, just sit back, don't take a trade. If you don't take a trade, you'll guarantee one thing: you'll never lose a penny. So if you're not sure what's going on, I used to think I always have to know what's going on. But when you hear Max saying, even the skilled traders can't trade this sort of stuff, they just stay out. So what does that tell you? The skilled traders can't work out what's going on and they stay out. But you kind of always feel like you need to know what's going on, and sometimes you just don't. It doesn't really matter. Listen to a trading podcast of a guy from the UK who went to GameStop for therapy because he was gambling his prop accounts. He managed to control that gambling. Currently has 108. Really, yeah. The strange thing is with me, I've never really been a gambler. I've never really bet on football. I have done it, but incredibly rare. I think I've had the first bet I had on a boxing match was it Andy Ruiz who fought he's a big black guy, what's his name, British guy, it'll come to me, I've gone blank. I think it was something like 40-1 and I stuck a tenner on and won 400 odd quid. Maybe once every couple of years I'll have a bet on I'll have a bet on a cricket match or something, just if I see stupid odds. But there's no Anthony Joshua, yeah. There's nothing that attracts me or pulls me to it. I've been to watch horse racing in the past just as a one-off, but I never had a bet. It just doesn't interest me. It doesn't excite me at all. I've never been a gambler. So I was quite surprised when I felt like I was gambling. But when I thought about it, I think it's more not that I was gambling to get that buzz. I think I was gambling to try and get my money back because I was more frustrated that I'd lost. Because you do have to sit and think, and I remember watching a trader saying that when he trades, he does this little self-assessment. He just thinks about how he's feeling, and he just tries to just work out, what sort of mood he's in. Is he in the best mood for trading? Is he this? Is he that? So it's just like a little self-check. But I don't feel like I'm out of control now. I feel like I make the decisions now. I don't lose control at all now. I think I've just been there and back, a huge thing that's changed for me was when markets don't give you opportunity, and I actually didn't take any trades at the end of the day. I felt like, oh, absolutely. That's a good point, that is. Because one of the hard things, there's many different difficult things about trading, but one of them is having the patience to be able to sit there and not take a trade. That is a skill in itself, that is. And I think the simple answer is, if there isn't an opportunity, you simply don't take a trade. If there's not an opportunity, you don't think, I'll take this one that's really risky, otherwise I won't trade today. The simple answer is, you don't take a trade. You don't need a lot of trades to make a lot of money. But those trades you do take, they need to be good setups. But yeah, I still get a kick out if I don't take a trade. If I, many times I've sat there for 4 hours and not taken a trade, and that to me is a result. Because it is part of it. It's a massive part of it, discipline, and being able to turn your back on. If you see a possible setup that might be a bit naff, that desire to want to take a trade and try and make money is strong. But it's identifying the fact that this is quite risky, and if it goes against me, I've got to now take 1.5 trades at least just to get back to where I was, and it does take time to be able to walk away from those. It used to frustrate me. I used to hate walking away. Now it does not bother me in the slightest. I have heard traders saying they never have a problem with leaving a trade. And I think it's an important point that it is a result. If you can sit there for 3 or 4 hours and not take a trade, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because that's another part of trading that is difficult. So yeah, but I'm quite happy in if I, even if I tell my wife now, I say no trades today, she says well done. Well, you haven't succumbed to that sort of discipline slips, and you end up, because going back a year or so, I'd sit there for 3 hours. I'd be getting close to the end of my trading, and I'd know that I'm running out of time to trade. And so many times I'd sit there for 3 hours. In the last 5 minutes, I'd take a trade and lose it. But it's you do realise, and you do get better as you get calmer when you're trading. You get better at filtering the crap, because a lot of the times when you're taking trades, you're taking them based on raw emotion, and you're hyper alert, and your hair's standing on end, and you've got that nervous excitement. And so many times I jump into trades, and I kind of don't even know why. It go against me, and I'm thinking, why did I take that? Because there's so much emotions, and a lot of the time you shouldn't I, and sometimes emotions take over, and you're in a trade before you realise what's happened. But the more you trade, the longer you do it for, those emotions start to slow down and calm down. And then you can make decisions with your head, and if something's not right, leave it alone. And it does get better. It does get easier. It's a fact. You can't do this every day in, day out, and it'll still have those same scary, exciting emotions. It will start to slowly decrease. Okay, I've been doing quite a bit of talking today. I'm just going to take my mouse getting dry. I'm going to make myself a quick cup of tea. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'll leave you to it. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Right, so this thing now is going up. I definitely think that's the target. So, leg and a leg. Is that an overshoot? Or is it not? No trade really here, is there? Nothing you could do. No trading there, really. There's nothing you could do. There is a second entry long there, but I mean, this is well into the overnight, so it's just, I think every sensible person is in bed at this time of night, so 2 legs back, but no setup there. Another retest. Trouble is that bar, it's got to be the best bar of 5 points, so you just don't really want to be taking that, do you? So tick above, tick below. Yeah, it's 5 points, so you don't know whether it's going to come back again. You could say once, twice, and then up. It could come back for another test, and it's possible it could touch lower, but once that starts to go, okay, so I'm glad I put that there. I noticed there was crude oil inventories. It wasn't high impact news; it was medium impact news. But I wanted to put it there just to get used to it, and we've had that bit of a drop there. It's exactly 5:30 now, and 36. Yeah, it's 5:30 and 40 seconds. So that to me was because of that. So I'm kind of glad I put that on there. I don't know a lot about the news that comes that's specific to oil, but that's one thing. I looked up Forex Factor earlier and noticed that. So although it's not high impact news, I just wanted to be aware of it, and that definitely had a bit of an effect. Not massively, but enough to screw you up if you were in a trade. So see, there's always a possibility there could be something like a spike in a channel there. It's possible. Trouble is, we've only really had one touch there, haven't we? So there's no easy way of drawing this, really. Kind of fits better at the top, but we've only really touched it once, so I probably really wouldn't want to do anything more than that just at the moment. At least we've had some sort of connection there. And it looks okay along there. But I have a feeling that's not really an overshoot. I just have a feeling it's going to be a slow day again because of this news. Trouble is, like, you can't go long here if you want to, because if it is an overshoot, it could come back here. But if it is an overshoot, it could come back to the EMA, push up higher and come back, or we could have a correction, or it could continue up slightly wider. I mean, it's pretty bullish at the moment, isn't it? That ATR is low, lots of little bars, and it does seem to be grinding higher, doesn't it? I mean, look how high this thing's getting. We've polished off the 450s already. So I think that is incredibly likely, maybe even a bit higher. Push up, sideways. I kind of like this because we've gone to the top left, right over to the bottom right, and that's kind of, as we know, channels work. They go up, they go sideways, they go up, they go sideways. Sometimes they'll have a couple of legs, sometimes it'll go sideways, but usually it'll push up, correct, push up, correct. And I think we're going to get up here, so if we can get back to here, I'd prefer this to go a little bit closer to this top first before I think about taking a trade there. Yeah, see, this to me is pushed up. We've had a correction, a retest, a push up, 2 legs back, and then a continuation. And we've almost bounced 3 times, so it's kind of like a triple test, isn't it? And then we pushed off, which is kind of why I don't think that's that bad. It is still early days, really, but I don't actually think it's that bad. Let's put that there. And that there or there. Let me have a think. Leg. Let's put it there. Very close that now. Well, in fact, if I bring that to there, where you probably should have it before we have this pull back, we're actually there now. I'm just going to get this. In fact, I'm just going to put that up out of the way there. We know we're into new territory. If that's the case, I'm interested to see what happens here. We need to get down here, really. My only slight concern is if this is the top, we've struggled to get up there. We've come back a little bit. We've had a break of this and we've struggled again. So, do you know what? I'd like to see a bit more of a correction. Let's have a look. If we can get something to correct to there. Then we may have something along the lines of that. We're still touching there and there. In fact, let me just yank this out the way for a minute. Touch, touch, touch. Touch, touch. And we need a bigger correction really to get down to here. So it is a possibility that. Martin, how you doing, my friend? How you doing, mate? Back on your day off, you penguin guys, have it easy. How you doing, mate? Yeah, it's a tough one there. Whether it is something like that, whether it is something like that, or indeed something larger. It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it? Are you done, Martin? Are you? Have you taken anything yet today? Isn't that something like your trade there? A couple of legs back, pushed up through the EMA. Isn't that something like leg up? So we got one leg back, second leg back, push up through the EMA. Would that not work for you guys? You want to be out before the tops, wouldn't you? I mean, it would have worked. You'd have had your stop behind here, wouldn't you? That's where your stop would have been, wouldn't it? So you'd have been okay. Leg back. The trouble is, we've already had a break in a new high. So don't you make 2 attempts to go high and then come back down this way? I don't know. I have a feeling that for me looks okay. You got another day off. Man, how many days you guys? In fact, I'm finishing early today. I'm going out for the few beers with some mates today. Not day off today, okay. But done trading, really good on you, mate. Not a great one today. Loss on the NQ. A little bit unfortunate, but lucky not. Yeah. The thing is, mate, as we know, losses are part of it. And if you can walk away and you're okay, you come back within 2 or 3 days and you've made another trade, you've forgotten what's happened a couple of days before and you've actually moved on. And that's the good thing, isn't it, really? That's what every trader, really, every new trader is striving to do. A loss really doesn't matter. It's a business expense, isn't it? It's not important what you make today or what you make tomorrow. It's more important what you make over a month, because that's what tells you, you can pick a professional trader. You can pick one of the best traders in the world. And if you say, well, pick a Wednesday, he may have had a loss, and he could be a great trader. But it really doesn't matter. It's what you make over a period of time. See, I would say look at a month's worth, and that will give you a better picture. Because you pick a day and they might have had a bad day. So, yeah. So, I'm wondering whether it is something like that. Or would we actually go a bit further? Tough one, ain't that? Yeah, absolutely. You need to survive, don't you? That's the ultimate goal. There is a massive failure rate, and I don't believe for a second it's down to capability. I think everyone's capable of doing this. It's purely, in my opinion, it's purely down to, can you put up with all the shit and still get up and come back tomorrow morning? And that's the key. You need to slowly, and we've all read it, haven't we? You need to change that mindset, and the only way to do that is to just keep coming back and working on that mind. It's like lifting weights. If you lift dumbbells every single day, sooner or later your arms are going to get bigger, aren't they? Doesn't happen overnight, but you have to be able to put up with all the bad stuff and all the frustration and keep coming back, and slowly that mindset does change, and it allows you to be able to accept when we have losing days and when you make a mistake. But leading up to that, it's near damn impossible, isn't it, really, to be able to put up with it all. And I absolutely get why traders do give up, because it does seem flipping impossible from time to time. But if you just stick at it long enough, good things will happen. This is hard to read, it could be like that. Trouble is, if it's not like that and you take a long off here, you may end up in trouble. So it could be something like that. I don't know. Sometimes these charts can be really hard to read, and if you don't get them right, it's very easy to make a mistake. So if it is something like that, then taking a trade here might be risky. Let me have a look on one of these forums, see if okay, leg and a leg. So trouble is, if you put it there, we've only really had a touch there. You'd really want a little bit more. So what if let's take it to there. But if you have it there, we've had a break. So it's a tough one, this is. I certainly rather include something like that, so maybe that's not terrible. It's hard, isn't it? And if you don't have your chart right, it's very easy to misread the thing. Trouble is, that's an option as well. And if that's the case, this is a break. And usually when we have a break, if we do continue on, there's usually a larger channel there. So maybe, depending on where this comes down to, this may show us a picture. See how far this thing comes down. It kind of visually looks okay, doesn't it? I like the way we're touching there and we're touching there, and we've bounced there like that. But the simple answer is I'm not 100% sure. I'm just looking at the forums. Sorry, the Discords. Yeah, see, I'm looking at TW's chart. I'm calling him that. That's my nickname for him. And he's got that like that. Which I'm not a massive fan of. See, as well as it fitting, I think it's important if it visually looks okay. And that, to me, visually looks okay. Now, we'd only really touched it once, but look at that now. And look at the top. Touch, touch, touch. Probably take that down a fraction more. I actually think that looks okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's just stick some different colour in there. Make it look a bit more powerful. Purple. Let's get rid of purple. Touch, 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 touch. Too much there. That's better. That doesn't look too bad. It's a leg and a leg. So I think that looks okay, I think. I'm just going to right click that. Save it. I like that. We've touched in 3 nice places there, and now all of a sudden, the bit I didn't like is we'd only really hit it once, but look where that's come down and bounced. I think that's a good sign, especially as this is touching really nice. The top's fitting nice, and a quick visual glance at it as well. It looks visually okay. Don't draw an uptrend based on the highs. But at the end of the day, highs are important, because if you take a long gear, you're going to be looking to take your profits up here. You take a long gear, you're going to be looking to take profits. So that's where the profit's going to be taken, and it's likely to retrace. So it's still important to have the tops as well. The tops are kind of like the icing on the cake, if that's sort of the way you look at it. But if it's touching here nice, touching here nice, and touching here nice, and touching beautifully on the tops, it just gives you that little bit more confirmation that traders are taking profits here and they're buying here. That's a place to buy, that's a place to sell. Maybe not for a Pats trader as such, but you know what I'm saying. But look how we're fitting there, and we're fitting there, and we're fitting there. And if you look down, look at there as well. So, and it visually looks, if it visually looks like it's going up that type of angle, that's different as well. That posted uptrend starts at the news, unsure about overshoot. So, here, yeah, he may adapt it though. So if you're on about, if uptrend starts at the news, then he'll be doing something like that. Something like that. So it may be the case, but at the moment it doesn't look right to me. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's right. But one thing I am noticing, top of it, not... Oh, okay. So here somewhere. That's that spike. Yeah, I was looking at a spike. I tried a bunch of different things. Why isn't that selected? So, I mean, it may be something like that. I don't think it looks terrible. The reason I brought that down is because it fitted nice at the tops, and it visually looks okay for me. So, yeah, it kind of is a spike in a channel. We've touched twice there now, so the first low after the news high probably here. Trouble is, if you do that, it's going like that, isn't it? Stop. It's going like that. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a bit hard to say. I think it's important what it visually looks like that. I think, personally, for me, it visually looks okay. But I had that there with the tops, and that seemed to bounce right where I kind of needed it. I think high-low is a good set to take now. Yeah, it's... see, I expect us to get up to there. I missed a good second entry short on the CL. Just bring this in quickly. I like that. We had a big drop there. Touch, fitting nice there. Second entry short there, stroke lower high. Nice. I'd want to be out the lows. It may come down some more, but I like that one. I don't think you want to take that one. It's only really a first entry, but that, I like the way it's dropping some longs. So I think you'd have got more or less 1-to-1 there, depending on how you sort of look at that. So the bar is tick above, tick below. It's 0.14. So if you went there, not quite. I mean, you'd want to be out at the lows, really, wouldn't you? I tend to get out just before the lows. Let's try that again. So if you went in one tick below there, it's a tough one there. $100. I tend to go for 10 ticks, which is $200. That's one contract, so that's where I would want to get out. But I would probably come back a couple of ticks. So it's hard to say there. Might want to go for 150. It may come down some more. It probably will. But that doesn't look too bad. Leg down. I like the way it's touching there and there and there and the back end. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly pushed down now. It's done what it's supposed to. But that second entry short worked beautifully. Two nice legs up and then a lower. Yeah, I would have taken that one for sure. Okay, let's see if this leg and a leg might open something up. See, the tops I find sometimes, if I'm not sure about the bottoms, sometimes I'll put it to the top and bring it down and see how it fits. But we got a touch there and a touch there. So, in fact, you could probably take that up a tiny touch there. Sometimes it takes a while for it to fit. So, touch there, touch there. Let's see if we can get a second leg down. That should get us into this this little area. Since when you start trading max price action? You know about me, are you? Just over 3 years. Just over 3 years. I mean, I started trading from a complete beginner in November, so it'll be 4 years this November. And I did 6 months. And then I looked into it a little bit first before I actually did anything, but officially, yeah. Excuse me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, we're coming down to this area now. Let's have a look, see what happens. Kind of got a leg and a leg as well. I like the way that's played out, so let's just ditch that and see where we're going on here. Look, that's interesting. Not quite there. I feel like the more you know, the more difficult it gets. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that. Yeah, sometimes I think you make it more difficult for yourself. When you didn't know much, it was a lot easier. Yeah, you're right, actually. That's an interesting comment. That sometimes knowledge can make... Yeah, the more you know, the more you look for a reason not to take a trade. And I know some people have said to me in the past, you're looking too much into it. See it, take it, you know. But I probably talk about it more because the process of... I kind of like talking about the process of me taking a trade. Now, when you break something down and talk about it, it does sound complicated. Now, if you think about the process of braking and coming to a stop in a car, there's so much that goes on in your head. But it happens that quick, you don't have time to think about it. But when you actually break it down, there's so much to it, really. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, sometimes if you know too much, you know, you can throw so many different ifs and buts at why you shouldn't take a trade. And but I think what you probably do is you go from it being not complicated to too complicated to finding some sort of middle ground. And I found that with my discipline as well. I've gone from being careless to being overcautious. And it's all part of the journey. There's so many different steps of the journey. And it is experiencing all these different levels and slowly finding somewhere that fits just nice. You know, where you make sort of nice decisions. I could bring that down to there. So let's have a look. Yeah, I'm still not sure about that. We touch there and there. If we hold there, good. It looks slightly more steeper than I've got it. So let's just see where these two legs bring us to. So that's going to take us a little bit lower. It is holding there, so that's... I like the fact that it's holding there. It's still too early to take a trade. You want to wait for it to start to move and get some sort of higher low above the EMA, because there's always a possibility that, you know, it may be more like this and we've already had a break. I don't think we have. No, even if it's like this, we haven't had a break. So regardless of what happens here, I think we need a break and a new high before anything happens anyway. But Let's see what happens here. I'm not getting involved in here because we could have a leg down, a couple of little pushes, and then down some more. There was always a possibility we could have something like that. So we could have a little channel with a break. New low. It is holding here, so that's interesting. Trouble is, it can do that. Push up, get back to the EMA and come down some more. So you could say there's a higher low there, but to be honest with you, it's a bit too early and it's a bit congested. So you could hiccup here. It could come down a little bit more. We could have that measured leg, see, to come down a little bit more. It's come down a fair chunk of it. But really, you want it to get above that EMA. And also, there's always a possibility that there's something larger there. And if we do get above there for a higher low, it could trigger and come down. So that's the trouble, really. When it's like this, it's not always that clear. There are so many different decisions, and there's a process to working out what's where and that. And we know, you know, I know what you say. It sometimes it gets more complicated, but I think it does. Like Max says, this is a skill that takes you years, and the bit that makes it the skill is all those tiny little extra processing that's going on in your brain, that's learning from your mistakes. And there's a massive amount of processing that goes on. We know trading isn't easy. You know, and every time we're in this different scenario and we make mistakes, we learn. And the only way you can learn is for all this information to keep piling into your head until you can get to the stage where you can look at this and think, oh, I've been here before, I don't like it, I'm staying out. So the longer you've been doing it, it kind of is more complicated, really. But the process of your brain computing all this information to hopefully get a clear signal, yes, I like it, or no, I don't. But as I say, it's like driving. When you first learn to drive, you kind of got to think about what you're doing. But when you've been driving years, you just don't even have to think. You can sit and have a conversation and not even remember braking, stopping, moving away, going round roundabouts. That's the stuff that just comes on in the background. And trading will get a lot like that. It'll, you know, sort of be a lot more automatic. As I say now, I don't tend to have to count. I just tend to see something and I like it, or I don't. And a lot of that is just sort of slowly developed with, you know, the few years I've been doing it. High low bounce, the trend from the EMA, channel down, played out. That was a good trade. What did you take? Let me look at that again. Higher low, higher low. And about that one there. That one there. Yeah, I didn't take that one. As Max says, 3 of ball bars stacked. It is a little bit stacked. I do like what it's doing. It's reassuring, but I'm still not confident I've got this channel. And there's always a possibility if it's steeper, we may have had it. I don't know, which is why I kind of left that. It is a little bit congested there, just a bit, and the moment the channel isn't sort of filling me full of confidence, but it's a little bit stacked, isn't it? And you don't know whether it's maybe going to trap along and come down a bit more. We haven't quite had 2 full legs, see, and it could come down to here because there's always a possibility of this channel is maybe slightly wider or slightly steeper. So that's just why. But yeah, I'm not saying, you know, I absolutely agree. If you can work out what's going on, if it's not congested enough for you to work out what's going on, you can absolutely do it. Yeah. I think the main reason is, 1, it hasn't made this full leg, and 2, I'm not 100% confident this channel is correct. It's likely it is, but I'd just rather wait for that push up and then a higher low indicating we are going slightly higher. But I think it was quite a small bar, that, wasn't it? But yeah, we've all got our slightly different. Yeah, it's not massive. It's a couple of points with a tick above, tick below. It's pretty small as it gets at the moment. You just don't know whether we're going to trap a few longs and come down just a bit longer, but yeah, you probably expect that. We've had another little channel there with a break to push it down to a new low, but I like what was happening there. It's encouraging that it's struggling there, but you just never know when it's going to nick here and come down. This CL chart is dropping. So look, I've gone from there to there. It's like a two-tiered channel. So I'll get rid of that now. Probably having a leg and a leg there, maybe, depending on where you look at it. Could be slightly further, which is going to send this down even more, but we're coming to the lows of the day here where we just passed them, so nothing that's interested me on that just at the moment. I like that, though. That's encouraging. We've got a touch there, a bunch of touches here. Has it really? That's interesting. For those interested in GAT, that's Guardian Angel Trade, in case anybody doesn't know, has implemented features to help not break Apex Trader funding rules. That's really useful. If anybody is struggling with the psychological, because I found my skill level was okay to make the money, but it was the psychological bit that I was struggling with in the range trading, which was kind of frustrating because I felt like I had one without the other. So if anybody is struggling, look into that Guardian Angel Trader. There are, John will tell you, there are some things within that software that can literally stop you from trading. You know, there are things like, I know they've got, when I looked into it, they've got a timeout. So, yeah, one of the things I used to do is if I took a loss, chances of me getting back in within the next 30 seconds was quite high. But you can put a timeout, so you can say it won't allow you to trade for, say, 20 minutes or so on and so forth. The developer said he trades with Apex. It's interesting that, because I remember having a Zoom meeting with the guy who designed One Tick Trader. I forget his name now. Is it something Williams or something? I can't remember. He's a trader as well. But yeah, I think a lot of these guys who have got the skills to write these programs because they feel like there's something missing from traders. It's Mark something his name is. So yeah, it's good because, you know, we all think, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a piece of software that does this? But yeah, if anybody is struggling, that is, from what I can gather, is a brilliant piece of software. And it really can stop you from trading. There is a part that I remember that you can even get it so it doesn't show you the ninja script, so you can't even delete the software and then trade a revenge trade. So it really does stop you. So it's a good point, that is. It's a good point. So if anybody is struggling, look into that. Yeah, that's good, that is. Do you know, I've tried to email him, John, and you get a message that your message hasn't gone through, so I don't quite know how you get to talk to him, because there was a couple of questions I wanted to ask him. I think he's a Spanish guy, isn't he? But yeah, if you go into the website and put an email, you get a message back saying the email was never sent, or it wasn't accepted, or you can't. I don't quite know why that happened, unless you can only send messages if you actually have the software. Oh, Rhythmic's disappeared. Right, that doesn't mean it's problems. Come on, okay, we're back up. I don't know why it just shuts itself down. Okay, we're going slowly up. It concerns me, that does. It's times like this where we have a quick flush down. I wonder whether we're going to go a little bit sideways here. I have a feeling this is going to flush down. Slowly going up, sucking in lungs. I don't like it when it's struggling to get up. Is this going to hold or not? I'm not sure about this. I think that's going to be a break, really, isn't it? So we have got that FOMC news later, so it's just going slow, isn't it? Yeah, I had a funny feeling that was going to flush down, take out anything there. So whether you took that one or maybe something one of those. So maybe a leg and a leg. Getting down to this measured leg area now. Interesting. Good strong push off that level there. Right, that measured leg. Perfect measured leg. In fact, that measured leg's actually even more perfect than I thought, because that can go up a tiny touch. So there, look at that, boom. We've got a little channel there with an overshoot and a break. 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. Much more of a correction. I don't see how we can incorporate that now. That sends that just way too high. So I'm going to leave that where it is and just say that this to me just looks like a break. So I think it's likely we're going to push up and test these highs. Depends on how you look at that. But to me, really, this is the first break. Even if you had that even steeper, something like that. This is a break, isn't it? So from this channel you've got to retest the highs, or from the bigger channel retest the highs. Either way, for me, I think it's likely we're going to push higher. So hopefully, if we can get above that EMA, as long as that holds, and there is probably some support if you look left. There is, yeah. So there's some support along there. You can see it there and there and there. So as long as this holds. I don't mind it coming back as long as we get a higher low. As long as we can get above that EMA, I think there's a good chance we're going to get higher. Slow though, isn't it? So channel up, however you look at it, we've got a leg and a leg. So a nice measured move. Hopefully nice strong push above the EMA, a little bit of a pullback, and then slightly wider channel. So if you'd have taken that, if that had been a bit smaller, after something like this, I wouldn't mind having a go at something like that, but it's just too big, really. I don't mind having a go for a 1.5 because I see a lot of those working and work well, and that's where we usually bags for our second move. If we get another one, but I mean, I think the good chance of us getting up to these highs after that initial push, I think is good. So there's, I mean, from here, there's 5, 10, 15, 20, there's 20, 23 points to get up there. Just looking on the CL, that's sort of how I have it. There's kind of like a triple test, you could say, once, twice, 3 times. I'd have preferred that I'd tick above there, but it isn't working like a triple test. I've got it as a spiking channel, so a touch there, bunch of touches there. I was hoping we may get a lower high, but I think it's gone too far now, I think. So really, we want to be looking for a second entry long here somewhere. Sam is the developer of Guardian Angel Trader. That's what he's talking about. He's a trader himself, traded with Apex, so he's incorporated a piece of programming into his software to stop it. It's to stop it. Help you stop breaking any rules. So maybe if you're in the red, I think if you go into a deficit, I don't think you can add to it. I think you can add to it if you're in profit. If you're going for I don't know, the market's up 3 points in your favour, I believe you can add to it. I'm not sure because it's something I don't do, but I'm pretty sure you can't add to a losing trade. So if you're $200 down with a contract, I don't know whether you can add to it. I know some traders who do it, but I don't know. I don't fully understand it. You can add one time. That's what I've heard. Okay, that's to a losing trade, is it? See, I've always been under the understanding that they say, correct, yeah, they say add to your winners or hold your winners and get out of your losers. So if you think, but I have seen who's the Asian guy? What's his name? That makes a lot of money. He's in Dubai. I've seen him adding trades to a loss. The market's going up away from him, and he's adding to it. It didn't work on that side. So yeah, it's something I don't do, so I don't really know a great deal about it, really. No, his name is he's got an Asian name. Let me look. I like him because he talks a lot about how he struggled. I'll find him for you. He's really good to listen to. I can't find him now. He's in Dubai, lives in Dubai, but he does a lot of shorts, like a little short videos. I can't find him now. Someone will mention his name. There's just nothing here, unfortunately. It may be. He's got quite thick black curly hair. I'm pretty sure he is from Dubai anyway, but he talks a lot about how he struggled, how he used to. One of the things I used to do, he said he used to trade for the day and used to come back later at night because he had that urge to come back. And he said he'd sit there and swear to himself that he wouldn't take a trade. He'd just watch the market. And he said all of a sudden, your mind would start to see trades and you take a trade and then end up taking a loss. So it's one of the things he does now is when he finishes session, he never goes back to and I like the way he talk about his struggles because they were, they related to me. And I think most of us, I forget his name. It is an Asian name. It's a sort of a Middle Eastern name. I can't think now, but it will come to me. Oh, I can't find him now. I'll tell you who he is. He's the guy that owned and developed what's the journaling software? TradeZeller is the guy who owns TradeZeller. Are we looking at a second entry long here, trapping some shorts? It hasn't triggered, has it? I'd like to see a second entry long there. Trouble is, you could get stuck here. It's a little bit congested. That's the guy, Umar Ashraf. Look him up. He is good. He talks a lot about his struggles, and he makes a lot of money, but it's taken him time. Okay, so I'm looking at this. I don't know what you guys are thinking. We got a channel up here, possibly a second entry long. There is a lower high there, which is triggered. It is a little bit stacked, but it is a second entry long. It's actually a failure as well. It's very wicky though. I kind of hope this finishes a bit naff. I think it's going to. Bar's finishing naff anyway, so let's see if it traps some more shorts here. Let's have a look. Would be more of 2 legs down, so.
Order
Let's see how
submitted.
this one finishes. Any channels for Learn ICT Concept? I'm not sure, Bud, to be honest with you. I think there is an ICT Concepts channel, but I'm not sure.
Order cancelled.
That's no good anyway. I believe Chris Childers, who works for Apex, he originally started with their sniper system and he trades it now. Is it ICT Concepts. He actually trades it now. He's moved away from. The trouble is about the sniper system is it costs $250 a month to use it, and it's all right if you're making decent money, but you know the time it takes you to learn to use the software and learn the strategy, it could take you a couple of years. It's $3,000 a year. It's a lot of money in it, really. I had this conversation in one of the Facebook groups, and I said it's a lot of money, and I think it was Darren Martin said, "Why wouldn't we pay it if you're making money?" And I said, "I would pay for it if I was making money, but most traders who come into this area are not making money. We're learning, so it's a lot of money when you're learning." What is going on here now? This is becoming a little bit unclear. As I say, we have got this news coming up later, so there's always a possibility we could end up going sideways. So I'm not sure at the moment. I thought we may get a second entry long there, but struggle to get up, which isn't a good sign. his brother trades, does he? Interesting. I like people that talk about their struggles, because we all know these great traders make a ton of money, but what they don't often talk about is their struggles. And I kind of like the way he talked about it, quite plain and simple. It's hard to know what the hell to do here, really. It's not very clear. You don't know whether the thing's going to take a nosedive or whether it's going to push up. I'd like to think, I may not have that channel right, but it's clearly working up. But whether you think this is a break or this is a break, we haven't made a new high yet. Now, whether we will or not is a different matter. I think it's likely we will. But this, to me, at the moment, looks like it may be just going a little bit sideways. But the trouble is, in about 2.5 hours, we've got FOMC, so whether it's going to end up doing this for a while, and then maybe eventually, but you don't want to get stuck in the middle of this lot. So, at the moment, it's not really showing us any sort of clear direction. Might call it a day. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I've done 2 hours and 10 minutes, a little bit less, but I am going out for a beer this afternoon. The sniper system is Apex's own trading software that Daryl Martin, I believe, coded. You can use it for free, I think, for the first month, and then I think $1 for the second month or something. But from then on, it's $250 a month, so it's a lot of money. And if you're learning to trade, it's a lot of money to pay every month if you're not making money. And we know these strategies and these systems take time to learn. It doesn't happen overnight. And if it takes you a year or two, it can be quite pricey. And obviously trading's an expensive thing to learn as it is. But if you're paying $250 a month every month, it doesn't help you, does it? Trouble is, as well, you have to continue to pay for it. So, you know, if anything ever happened to Apex, you're kind of screwed, aren't you? How are you going to... you can't buy it, I don't believe, and take it away. It's their system, I think. Yeah, this is getting a bit hard, this, isn't it, really? Hard, slow, unclear. Okay, I'm going to knock it on the head there, folks. I've done just under 2.25 hours, a little bit less than normal, but it's just going sideways and slow and just not very clear. And I'm going out for some beers with some friends for the first time in about 6 months. So I'm going to love you and leave you. So if you are carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Keep it in mind, we have got the FOMC news and you want to be flat when that happens. So I hope you get a setup. Failing that, best of luck. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And I'll be back again tomorrow. It's Thursday tomorrow. Wow, aren't the weeks flying? It doesn't seem 5 minutes since Christmas, does it? Let's have a look. Yes, Thursday tomorrow. So there you go. So have a great day. Best of luck. Stay safe. And I will see you same time tomorrow just before the market opens. So bye for now.